Hello friends! I'm so excited you're here because this is my reading banned books reading vlog. Probably one of the most important reading vlogs I'll do this year. So I've already read one. I read Allegedly by Tiffany D. Jackson. I just finished this morning. I listened to it on Libby. And oh my gosh, this is such a heavy book. Oh, it's very sad. This is based on a true story about a girl in Maine, and I couldn't find any other information, but I know Tiffany G. Jackson's other book, Monday's Not Coming, was also based on a true story. So it's something she's very good at. Both of these books are banned, by the way. Just so you know, they're banned for offensive language. My heat was cutting on. It is very chilly. We are just getting out of a polar vortex thing here in Virginia, so that was fun. Just freezing for a couple days. But anyways, so Allegedly is about a girl who is wrongly convicted of murder of a baby. She's convicted when she's 9, and we pick up with her when she's like 15, and she's going through it. She's in the group home. There's horrific stuff in this, and I think the horror aspect of it is that the people in power really either don't give a shit or they abuse the power, and I think that is so real in the system today. Like, there's just people so burnt out, or they're not good at their job. There's people who intentionally seek these position powers with young kids, and it's disgusting. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on in this book. There is a twist in this that I did not see coming, and I thought it was just delightful. I think this is a really well done piece. It's a thriller, but it also has like this this hard eye on the system and how horrible it is that we have for kids, and I think it was really good. And yeah, the twist was just like the fun part too of it, because otherwise it is a very sad and kind of depressing book. I almost was like, I kind of don't even want to read any other banned books after this one, but the ending got me. I was like, okay, this is great. And yeah, I gave it 4 stars. So next, I think I am gonna do Beloved. I wasn't sure because I'm gonna do Mouse or Beloved, but yeah, I was like, Allegedly is so heavy. Oh my gosh, I don't know if I can go into it, but as I said, the ending sold it for me. Yeah, so also in this vlog, I probably will just be working a lot. Yeah, it's gonna be boring. It's gonna be just me reading. So I was like, what can I kind of bring to this vlog that is a part of the resistance, because that's what I want to do too. I just want to like kind of inspire people a little bit. So I know the news, very grim. I'm filming this the week of the day 1, right? Okay, let's just say that day 1 happened, and it was rough. It was real rough out there, and it was absolutely horrible, terrifying. But let's not be so shocked, okay? So let's get on with it. So to go forward, I think it's fun to always look back and think about what happened, you know, the first time this happened. So back in 2017, I don't know if you guys remember this happening here in Virginia. There was this protest that happened in Virginia, in Charlottesville, and there was some Yahtzees there, and somebody did get killed. Heather Heyer got killed, and that was just devastating. It was a really, really sad day. It was a really stressful day. I remember being at work and seeing that news and just crying. But then when stuff started unfolding about that event, there was so much that happened to it. I'm simplifying this event. I honestly go read it, like go to independent news sources and stuff to read about this, because it was insane what happened. I think there was like a helicopter crash too, that nobody ever talks about. Anyways, the scale of this event was insane, and the horrors that happened it was bad. But when the like court cases and going through the system, the judicial system and everything started happening, there was this one case, and I couldn't find anything about it when now, but I remember seeing it, and this guy, counter protester, because there was counter protesters, of course, at this protest. This guy, a Yahtzee, and this Yahtzee was like, oh no, you hit me, I have to press charges now. So he pressed charges, and guess what the judge ruled? The judge dropped the charges and fined the Yahtzee $500. So if that is not something to like, I don't know, kind of reflect upon and just look back fondly. I know it's not a lot, but you know, just there's videos on how to, you know. So I learned you're supposed to use just hit with these two front knuckles. I didn't know that beforehand, and you want to make sure everything's aligned, and when you go to do it, you pivot, you know, your back foot, so you have that momentum. Just some tips. I also did karate as a child. I made it to like the advanced brown. I was literally one belt away from black belt, so I kind of already knew all this except for the two knuckles. Maybe I forgot about that, but anyways, so just some food for thought. I've also watched a ton of my favorite horror / action World War II inspired movies. One in particular that is one of my favorites is Green Room. This is not a World War II movie, but this is a punk movie through and through, and I do like the punk is getting like the recognition too this week that it deserves. And yeah, listen to some Dead Kennedys, listen to some Cheap Perfume, put it on your playlist. I know I made a playlist this week to work out to. So yeah, that's my bit of my bit of positivity, I guess. But because there's gonna be some heavy books I'm reading in this vlog, so boy oh boy, stay tuned. Okay, so excuse me if I look like the Crypt Keeper. Yeah, stuff has been insane. It has been a couple days since, I think it's been a week. I said a couple days. I'm like, it's been a week. And it has been a week. I've worked 10 days, 11 days in a row. I don't remember how many days. But anyways, I did finish 2 books for my band book reading. And I didn't finish them in necessarily. Did I finish this one in January? I think I finished Beloved in January. I think it was the last book I listened to. This was a reread for me. I cannot believe how mad this book made me, even though I know like the premise and everything of it. If you don't know, it's a very powerful book about a woman who escaped being a former enslaved person, and basically she gets to a new community and a new town, and her slave owner tracks her down, and she does something that is, in the eyes of the community, unforgivable. But you really come to understand why she does it. And then years go by, she has another daughter. Well, she had a younger daughter, and I think she had 2 other boys. So her younger daughter is like a teenager now, and this woman shows up at her home, and her name is Beloved, and it is the ghost of the child of the baby she killed when she thought she was going to have to go back. It's very, very heavy. I mean, that is just a heavy, heavy premise. And I think the first time I read this, I was like, oh my gosh, Sethi, like, the main character, you really feel for her. She's such a good, complex character, and there's all these nuances to her, and even like the men in her life too, because you get the point of view from multiple people. And Denver, her daughter, it's so well done. It is so well done. This deserves a million awards. I like how well written it is, and such a complicated, interesting story. But I think my reread of this made me so mad because school teacher is the name of the bad guy, right? I'm just like, what is his problem? Like, what is everybody's problem with well, all the white people, racist white people, like, y'all, like, he only showed up to be a dick. He knew he had no right. He only showed up to torture her. And it's like, it just made me so mad about that. I was just like, I hate that. And like, you guys have to like look at yourselves. Like, what are you doing? Like, what are you even doing? You need to look at yourself for being so hateful. Like, it's giving. And what I was thinking, I was like, this guy, these guys, all of them, because they're still around. They're still around. Small D energy. Mega small D energy, if you know what I mean. But yeah, amazing book. It's so good. The Bluest Eye is amazing too. I actually saw on a list. I'm going to try to link it in the PDF in the description. But I found a list recently of banned books. And it's the only PDF I've found. Somebody like kind of gathered it all. But that was in 2021. So who knows what's going on now. But basically, this one is banned in 2 states, I believe, and 2 districts. And then The Bluest Eye by Toni Morrison is in a bunch of states. That's the one in Virginia that is actually banned, not Beloved. I got them confused, but still, like, The Bluest Eye is amazing too. But yeah, I loved it. It's a heavy read. It is a heavy read. And also, I'm not a person of color. I have no, like, I feel like I have no right to even talk about this book, but it is magnificent. I love Toni Morrison's writing. It's very lyrical and beautiful, and your Hoopla or Libby will probably have it on audio too, and I'd never done the audio for it, and I was like, I'm loving it. I loved it. But yeah, I think that was the last book I read in January. The end of January, beginning of February is like a blur to me. It's only the 2nd. It's only February 2nd. It's Groundhog's Day. And I'm like, what is happening? Where am I? As you can see, I went to Aldi. It's Sunday morning and I had to do an Aldi run, of course. And I'm supposed to do a Target run, but I don't think I'm going to be doing that for a while, or ever again. So we'll see. But the other book I listened to is very, very short. It was a really quick listen. I actually listened to a lot of this at work this week. Is Night by Ellie Weissel. This is a story of a teenager who, well, this is a autobiography of a person who survived Auschwitz. Very heavy and sad, and I cannot see why this is banned. I can't see why any books would ever be banned, especially Beloved or Night, because they tell really important and interesting stories. This one is super short. I think the audio for it from Libby too is 4 hours, but also I borrowed it too. It's so precise. I'm like, this guy just was like, this is what happened from my memory, because he wrote this in the 60s, I believe, which is still really close. There's a lot of nonfiction and a lot of stuff coming out about the World War II Nazi Germany in that time. Like, I know, what is it? The Rise and the Fall of the Third Reich, I believe, was was written in the 60s as well, which even that author and this author is like, it's a little close. It's still a little close to be talking about it. And I'm like, what? Oh gosh. Yeah. The only thing with this is it's horrible. It's absolutely horrible. But him surviving is like a miracle. And also his note was a little weird at the end. But then again, it is the 60s, and there is a lot of stuff has changed since the 60s. So it kind of put me off. I was like, hold up. But I mean, his overall message was good. But just be on the lookout for that. Stuff has changed. I read The Rise and the Fall of the Third Reich, the first go around of this fascist administration, and there is so much like the problematic language in that, and like I don't know, that journalist view on stuff. I was like, okay, this does not fly. This does not fly even for 2016. Okay. But yeah, if you're really interested on how stuff happened like that, or how that even happened, I think it's really important now. But yeah, I'm gonna stop blabbering, because I still have an errand to run, one errand. And you can see I'm at a gas station now, because it's just fun being an American right now, right? I had to run to the gas station to fill up my tank because I don't know what the fuck is gonna happen next week. I stockpiling like coffee and some frozen foods. I don't know what's going to happen. Also water, because I live in Richmond, and apparently that can be just gone forever, or gone for a week or so. So yeah, the fun times. I'm going to keep reading. This vlog is taking me much longer. My reading is slowed way down. But I'm going to try to read 2 more books. 2 more banned books. I'm pumping myself up. I'm doing it. We're going to do it. I'll check it later. Okay, friends, jump scare. Editing Katrina here. As I'm editing this vlog, well, of course, this vlog is taking me forever, but I feel like, it's very sad and depressing. I'm reacting to a lot of stuff that's happening in real time. And I do think it has its place for sure, and especially in this vlog because I'm reading banned books, but it is a bummer. Like, especially since the news just moves so fast. I feel like it's still kind of like, oh yeah, that happened, and then like you kind of move on about it, and I start to act this way in the vlog. I'm like, you know what? I'm not surprised. On to the next. And it's horrific. It is very horrific stuff that's happening. We are watching the federal government break ties with the working class, and it's very traumatic. And there's also just a ton of more stuff. It's very layered, but I'm just so casual. I'm so casual about it towards the end, or towards the middle and the end of it. I am going to cut some stuff, so if there's like a weird cuts or something going forward, that is why, because I am just like, I don't know what happened. I just kind of disassociated a bit and was like, well, it happens. You know, this happens. It's very callous, and yeah, I just wanted to give a little bit of warning if there's like weird cuts or something in this, because yeah, I just completely stopped giving a shit apparently, but so I still give a shit to where I'm like, oh yeah, that happened, that sucks, on to the next thing, you know. And yeah, I just wanted to give a warning there, because that's ridiculous. But anyways, back to the vlog. I did finish another banned book, The Poet X by Elizabeth Asindo. I don't know, I sounded French for a second. This is definitely not up my alley. It is a literary, I believe this is YA. It might not be, because it is a little like high brow, because it's a lot of poetry in it. But this is about a teenager who is a twin, and her brother is kind of like the golden child. Her twin is this golden child. Everybody looks at him and is like, you're perfect and everything. and she's struggling in a very, very religious family, and I really thought this was going to go somewhere really dark. There's a lot of heavy stuff in this. There's abuse, there's violence, there's bad stuff in it. It's dark, but I thought it was going to get like very, very dark. For a second I was like, oh my gosh, is her religious parents gonna like overreact and stuff? They do, of course they do, but there is a bit of a resolution in this that I was like, okay, happy-ish ending. I looked up why this was banned. This was banned in North Carolina. I don't think it's no longer banned, but it was banned for being anti-Christian, which I did not get at all. I got like, yeah, her parents were like crazy, or her mom was like crazy. But it didn't feel like it was just like, I don't know, maybe like more non-conformity-ish, which could be seen as anti-Christian. But what was the ruling from the courts is that this is educational, and education is not being like indoctrinated or whatever. So I thought that was really interesting. This brought up like really interesting conversations with a lot of people for it to even go to the courts, which is kind of crazy. But yeah, as you can see, it's won lots of awards. It's beautifully written. I did the audio from Libby, and yeah, the poetry was actually really beautiful. I was just like, oh my gosh, I'm not a big poetry person, but you get a lot of the poetry. It's this girl, she writes poetry to kind of as an outlet of like her like really oppressed home life. But yeah, I loved this. Definitely not my vibe at all. But I did really like it. So I'm thinking like 4.5 stars. I'm not sure yet, because it's tough to rate stuff that I'm of a genre that I don't typically read. I'm like, I don't know. That was a book that I don't typically read. But yeah, really good. Especially if you could borrow it, definitely borrow it. Cause yeah, keep it in circulation. And then I started Mouse by Art Spiegelman. This is taking me a minute to get through because I am reading it at night physically. It's in my book bag now because I worked my part-time job and I was reading it there. And then I go back to work my part-time job tonight because they put me on a double split shift because they love me. And that's what I'm hoping. But yeah, I can get some reading in there if I'm not crocheting. I'm getting the urge to crochet more, and I saw like really pretty patterns for stuff, and I'm just like, I need to do that, and I need to finish other stuff. It's been crazy though. It has been so crazy. I'm sure you guys know, but I am trying to finish Mouse. I don't know if I'm gonna read any other banned books in this vlog, but my for my Black History TBR, I do have a banned book on there, so I definitely will keep reading them. But yeah, I think that's it for this check-in. Okay, so I finished Mouse by Art Spiegelman. Oh my gosh, you guys, this book is so good. I thought it was going to be, I mean, it is sad. It is very sad. It is a true story of his parents surviving Auschwitz, and also kind of what happens to them afterwards. I think that was actually like what struck me the most, because his mom ended up killing herself. I believe Spiegelman was a teenager when it happened, so they were already like in the States, in New York. But yeah, it's like, what, you know, I think that, and his dad coping with that over the years, and then just that father-son relationship in this is so wholesome and so relatable. Not being a father-son relationship, but just with your parents, like stuff like, I don't want to say trying to get information out of him, because he wasn't really doing that. It was more like casual than that. It was just like, I need to know this story. Like, this is a big deal. I need to know it. And then also, like, I don't know how to explain it. The dynamics, I guess, between them and how it shifted after the story was told, and what other things came up with remembering these horrific events and the most traumatizing part of their life. But yeah, it was really good. Honestly, I think this one's banned because of nudity in it. It's literally mouses. It's literally mice, pigs, and cats are the Nazis. I am just like, I was kind of worried for a second about Art Spiegelman, about this author, because I was like, oh wait, what is his stance on Gaza? You know, like, I mean, because his dad, like, hated Zionists and stuff too, like, yeah, but I was just like, you know, stuff doesn't always age the best. I would say this one is definitely, since before being written in the 80s, it's still good. But I looked it up, and Spiegelman is writing a graphic novel about Palestinians and their struggle, and I'm just excited to read that. He said it's like, so he feels like he has to do it before he dies, which is depressing, but also really interesting concept. So yeah, he's good. But yeah, I was like, I feel like I have to like go and look that up. If you guys are wanting to read this, I found a free version on YouTube that is really good. I did about half and half. I think I made it halfway through, and I was like, you know what? I need to get this done, and I can't sit and read it right now. So I looked that up, and it's really good. It does panel by panel. The narration and the audio itself is really, really good. It goes with music sometimes during like monologues and stuff. I teared up a bit listening to it. I was just like, it is heavy. It is heavy. But yeah, such a great, so good. It's so good. I can't believe this was banned. How can somebody look at this piece of art, like legit art from the soul, from your soul, and be like, we have to ban it? I don't get it. I don't get it. So there are more books that are being banned this year. And it is actually like old school books. I've noticed, I've been seeing on lists and stuff too, that they're like, you know, 1984, that book, which I was gonna reread for this vlog too, you know, that book should be banned again. Y'all, okay. Well, it's nuts. It's nuts out there. Another banned book I read, actually, I don't know if this is banned. I think I did see it. It was banned. Is Armed Joy. This is like 40 pages. It's more educational stuff. It's written in like academic way. So it did take me a minute. I reread a chapter like 3 times to be like, what? And then it clicked, and I was like, yep, okay. So this is free on Internet Archive, and it is like 45 pages, and on Internet Archive, if you go to read it, it's like 20 pages, because it's like, yeah, it's short, but really interesting, and yeah, it kind of shifted things a little bit for me. But yeah, that is it for this banned book vlog. Took way too long for me to do this. I need to read my banned books quicker. I'm going to be doing more of these because, again, more books are being banned, and they just love to do it. The fascists love banning books. It was even brought up in this, how they banned books and how like pamphlets and stuff were being spread, and that was like a huge deal, and helped with the resistance. So resist and keep fighting out there. Keep reading things they tell you not to read, because fuck the patriarchy. Have a good day.